More volume does not really lead to a longer stimulus duration. It leads to a greater magnitude of the stimulus, not really a greater duration. And a great way to deduce this and see how long the hypertrophy stimulus lasts is, first of all, you need to acknowledge that the initial part of MYOPS, myofibrillary protein synthesis, is what's going to be allocated to hypertrophy. Right here we have MYOPS rates after doing 1 set and MYOPS rates after doing 3 sets. Using the Schoenfeld meta-analysis, we can see that 3 sets gives us about 1.61 times the amount of hypertrophy as 1 set. And going back to this, like I said, the initial part of MYOPS is what's going to be dedicated to hypertrophy. We can just see how long it takes for the 3 sets to give 1.61 times what the 1 set gives, and it takes about 29 hours. And the MYOPS after that would only be dedicated to muscle damage repair. So doing more volume does not really lead to a greater duration, it just leads to a greater magnitude. And if it were the case that it did lead to a longer duration, this would mean that first of all, bro split would get a buff because now the bro split is not going to suffer from as much atrophy because you do more sets. And 2, you would have to explain the maintenance literature, which tells us that 3 to 4 sets 1 time a week is maintenance, which means that 3 to 4 sets worth of stimulus is lost within the training week. If this were the case, instead of 3 to 4 sets being lost over 5-ish days, if the stimulus period lasted longer, then that means that they were actually in a state of atrophy for less time, which means that they lost more muscle each day, which means that the rate of atrophy is greater.